In a world overflowing with corruption, in a time when darkness ruled the hearts of men, one man stood out, a man whose quiet obedience changed the destiny of humanity itself. This is not just an ancient story. It is a mirror, a warning, and a message of hope for anyone walking through storms today. This is the story of Noah, of judgment and mercy, destruction and renewal of a God who never abandons the righteous. Humanity had reached its breaking point. Violence filled the earth. People celebrated wickedness. The sound of evil was louder than the sound of prayer. Every thought, every imagination, every motive of man's heart was corrupted. This was a world that had forgotten its creator. But God never forgets his creation. He looked upon the earth, and it grieved him, not because he was surprised by human failure, but because he knew what mankind could have been. And so, a decision was made, a decision that would cleanse the earth and restart the story of humanity. In the middle of a corrupt generation, there was one man who still walked with God. His name was Noah. Not perfect, not flawless, but faithful, willing, obedient. When everyone else ignored God's voice, Noah listened. When everyone lived for themselves, Noah lived for something greater. And God said to him, "Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. Build an ark." Imagine hearing that. Build a gigantic ship on dry land when rain had never fallen. But Noah didn't argue. He didn't doubt. He simply obeyed. The task was enormous. An ark 150 meters long, 25 meters wide, 15 meters high, big enough to hold thousands of creatures. Day after day, Noah hammered wood. Day after day, people mocked him. "Noah, what are you building? A boat? For what? There's no water here. You've lost your mind." But Noah kept building. Why? Because obedience makes no sense to those who don't hear what you hear. Faith is not logical. Faith is not convenient. Faith is doing what God says even when everyone thinks you're crazy. And while Noah worked on the ark, he warned the people, "A flood is coming. Turn back to God." But his words fell on deaf ears. Then one day, something happened that no one could ignore. Animals began walking toward the ark. Not running, not chased, but called. Lions side by side with lambs. Predators walking peacefully among prey. Birds filling the sky. Insects covering the ground. It was a supernatural parade orchestrated by the Creator himself. People watched in shock, yet still, they refused to believe. Obvious miracles mean nothing to a heart that does not want truth. Once the animals were inside, Noah and his family entered the ark. And then, Scripture says, God himself closed the door. Not Noah, not his sons, God. There are doors in life only God can open, and doors only God can close. For 7 days, nothing happened. Silence, stillness, mocking voices outside. But on the 7th day, the sky changed. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder, then violently. The people who mocked Noah now felt fear. The ground shook. The fountains of the deep exploded. Water beneath the earth surged upward. The sky unleashed a power humanity had never seen. Entire cities vanished. Mountains disappeared under rising waves. People rushed to the ark, banging, screaming, desperate. But the door God closed. No man could open. Judgment fell. But it was not cruelty. It was justice. Inside the ark, the storm raged, but the faithful were safe. Not because they were strong, but because they trusted the one who is strong. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain poured. For 150 days, waters covered the earth. Yet inside the ark, there was peace. As long as God was with them, nothing could destroy them. Sometimes God doesn't stop the storm. He shelters you through it. The waters finally began to retreat. A dove brought back an olive leaf, a sign of life, hope, restoration. When the earth was ready, God told Noah, "Come out of the ark." The world was new, fresh, cleansed, and Noah built an altar, not to celebrate survival, but to honor God's mercy. Then God placed a rainbow in the sky, a promise that he would never again destroy the earth by flood. It wasn't just a sign for Noah. It was a sign for all generations, including ours. The story of Noah is more than ancient history. It is a message for today. When the world grows dark, when wickedness increases, when storms rise, God still calls people to stand out, to build in obedience, to trust when it makes no sense, to walk faithfully even when others laugh. Noah's story teaches us. One person's obedience can save a generation. One person's faith can rewrite destiny. One person's walk with God can change the world. So when God tells you to build, build. When he tells you to move, move. And when the storm comes, remember, those who walk with God are never washed away. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, comment faith, like and subscribe for more content that builds faith.